Just a really quick update while the sun is actually shining. I have very few flowers. I've got a few tiny snowdrops. I wish I had more of those because they are so beautiful. And my border looks an absolute mess. There's a lot of grass because I've got the bird feeders here. Even though I buy the seed mix, it says no grow, no mess, it still apparently does grow. Because, yeah, you can see there's lots of grass growing around it. And one thing I wanted to show you was this winter flowering jasmine. Which I think needs a bit of a prune because it's looking a little bit, I don't know, you could call it scruffy, but actually no, I like it. So I know yellow is a bit of a Marmite colour, but actually I really like it, especially at this time of year when there's so little else. And it's just it's a really easy to grow climber that gives a lovely little bit of colour in the winter. I must try and propagate it actually. If anyone's ever propagated this plant, do let me know. I've noticed that it has actually propagated itself a little bit. Can you see there? So it looks like it's sort of gone into the ground. You know is it the layering technique where sort of a stem goes into the ground and then grows roots? I can see that has happened there. So I might actually cut that and dig that up at some point and plant it into some soil and see, like in a pot, if I can grow it on. At the moment I really don't want to touch it in case I ruin it. Yeah, so apparently it does do that. And propagation by cuttings is something that I'm quite new to, so any tips are really welcome for that, because I'd definitely love to grow some more of these. Yeah, really lovely. And I don't think I've got much else to show you because the garden is so bare. My eucalyptus obviously providing some nice evergreen structure. These are so fast growing. I can't believe how fast eucalyptus grows actually, because I coppiced it. It'll probably be 2 years now. Can you see where I cut it at the trunk? And I've definitely talked about this in other videos, so apologise if you're sick of me talking about this, but you can see where I chopped it down. That was 2 years ago, and I really should have pruned it. I wish I'd cut it for some wreaths at Christmas time. I should have done that. So there is a plane going over. So yeah, eucalyptus. In fact, I think it's March, isn't it? The time to prune, so I'll give it a little coppice or a prune. I'll have to research that. I'll do that in March, usually about March 18th, around that time. Yeah, really nice trees, just need a bit of management, and there's so little else in flower. A few seedlings. I've got some foxgloves that I'm actually leaving outside now. I'm leaving these to the elements that were in my greenhouse, but I think foxgloves really do need to be outside because I think they need that cold period to flower. So these are outside now, and I'm gonna sow some more. I've got a variety called Sutton's Apricot, which I think will flower in the first year. If I sow the seeds in February, I think they flower the first year, but I'll let you know about that. And in here are the last remaining few ranunculus that have survived. And actually these two that you can see are from last year, and they've obviously survived in there. I know that no one would ever recommend leaving ranunculus in the ground in the UK over winter, but I've mulched this bed heavily with strulch, and it's got hoops on. I put the hoops on so that if we do get like a hard frost, I can just put some frost cloth on over easily. But yeah, these are the white ones that I started off, and yeah, there's one that says that's 5. I've got 5 of the new ones out of, I think, maybe 15, which is not good, is it? The rest did rot away when I transplanted them from the greenhouse. A lot of them, yeah, the roots were just total mush, so I've obviously overwatered them, so entirely myself to blame for that. But hopefully if I just get a couple to flower, then it will be worth it. My blueberry got some little buds on. I need to look up something. I do need to research is whether, and if so how, I should prune a blueberry. Yeah, so I'll be looking for some YouTube videos on that. And yeah, greenhouse. There's nothing in here actually that needs to stay in here, apart from the few things I'm overwintering, like the callas I talked about in my last video, and the sweet peas. The sweet peas are coming up. I think they can probably go outside, and I've got the cold frame. I need to give the cold frame there, put it there. I need to give it a bit of a clean, and then I can move stuff into it. So actually, yeah, the few plants I've got in here are actually hardy enough to go outside, I think, into the cold frame at least. And what I want to do is really get everything out and give the greenhouse a good clean before the mad seed sowing season starts, which will probably be like end of February. So yeah, that's the plan. To see if there's anything else to show you. Oh, I do have a hellebore, but one hellebore, and it just looks really scruffy. So I probably wouldn't have shown you, but as I've got so few things in the garden. Oh, it's still lovely, isn't it, actually? I do love that whitey green colour. Yeah, so any tips for looking after hellebores so that they look a bit nicer are very welcome. I've got a lot of plans for my garden over the next few months, so I'll be sure to keep you updated. I'll really quickly show you the front garden. There's not a huge amount out here, again in flower, of course, but I do have this lovely green cornus. I planted 2 of these a few months ago, and they're only small, as you can see, but they are looking nice, and apparently they're very easy to propagate from cuttings as well, so I'll be doing that. These are pulmonaria, which will hopefully will flower in the spring, and I'll show you those because they are absolutely gorgeous. And over here is something that I'm very excited about, and it is this. And this is flowering quince, and I bought last year. I've wanted to buy some quince for ages because it's so gorgeous, and every January I'd see it in flower and be like, oh, I really need to get some. So I bought 3 really small plants last year. So they've obviously grown from cuttings, and they're still really small, but they have established quite well. And as you can see, I've got a few little flowers, and they are gorgeous. I just can't wait until I've got more of those, and ideally I'd like it to grow up against this wall that's behind it. Yeah, so what else have I got? I've got a little viburnum. That's a viburnum Eve Price. Here's another of the quince. Again, you can see it's really small, and this is what you do when you haven't got much money, is buy plants when they're really small and just have to exercise some patience. But I'm so excited that they've got little flower buds. Come on, I think it's a bit, the sun's going in and out. Yeah, so flowering quince, absolutely stunning. shrub for the winter, and I can't wait to show you when it's bigger. Else over here is where I'm going to dig a pond, so you can see I've started to lift the turf. I started that in the autumn and then it got too cold and I gave up. So yeah, I will be continuing with that in the next few weeks. Here's my other cornus. And I did also plant another quince here, which doesn't look like it's doing as well. I don't know if that's because it's a bit, I was going to say it's a bit shadier, but it's got a bit of sun now. I don't know if it's because this does have a bit more competition from other plants. So yeah, and around to the other area I've got around the front. This is the area that gets like most of the sun, and it's a little gravel area. So here I've got things like this olive, because obviously olives love sunny spot. I've kept it outside all winter. I know sometimes you should give olives some protection, but as it's a few years old now and it's very close to the house and it is quite sheltered here, so I think it's fine. I've planted some erigeron around the base of that, which will hopefully look really pretty when it flowers. And yeah, again, not many flowers, but I've got some little shoots. I've got some little irises popping up. There is some little muscari in there among the sempervivums. Over here I've got some tulips coming up, which could do with some kind of top dressing or bedding plants or something on top. Hopefully the tulips will fill that out when they come up. And in the corner I've got this lovely fig tree, which I bought last year off Facebook Marketplace for like £3. Someone had obviously grown it from a cutting. So yeah, it's really come on really well. I'll just move it back. The car's just gone past. Now I'm really embarrassed.